This is Mrs. Zappia with Lesson 21, Some Facts About Graphs of Linear Equations in Two Variables. Student outcomes for this lesson. Students write the equation of a line given 2 points, or the slope and a point on the line. Students know the traditional forms of the slope formula and slope-intercept equation. Pause the video and copy the essential question as well as Step 1, Step 2, and Step 3. When you're ready, resume the video and we'll do example 1. Step 1 is to find the slope. Finding the slope, we are going to review finding the difference between the x value and the y value when you know the 2 points, rather than using the rise and the run. So we'll write our point P on integer coordinates, and that is the ordered pair -2, 2. We'll find another integer coordinate, and we'll label that point R, and that has the coordinates 5, 4. Recall that the slope is the difference between the y coordinates over the x coordinates. So we'll have our difference of our y coordinates, which is 2 minus 4, over the difference of our x coordinates, which is -2 minus 5. We'll calculate that answer, and we get 2/7. So 2/7 is the slope of our line. Next, we want to find the y-intercept. Notice that the y-intercept in this problem is between two integers, and we cannot look at the precise location of that. So what we'll want to do is mathematically calculate the y-intercept. To do that, that is step 2. To find the y-intercept, we will substitute the slope, which we found up here, and one of the ordered pairs, xy. We'll go ahead and use this ordered pair, -2, 2. In the equation, y equals mx plus b, and we'll solve for b. So our value for y is going to be 2. Our value for m is 2/7. Our value for x is -2. And b is the y-intercept, which we will be solving for. So we simplify this equation. 2/7 times -2 is equal to 4/7 plus b equals 2. And since we're multiplying a negative times a positive, that will be a negative. Then, to solve for b, add 4/7 to both sides of the equation. That gives us 2 and 4/7 is equal to b. So that is our y-intercept. Finally, substitute the values for m and b in the equation y equals mx plus b. Our value for y is equal to m, which was 2/7, x, plus the y-intercept of 2 and 4/7. You'll often see equations written in the slope-intercept form where the y-intercept is left as an improper fraction. So if we did that, it would equal 18/7. So y is equal to 2/7 x plus 18/7. And either one of these forms would be correct. Example 2. Let L be the given on the coordinate plane. Use the equation of the line, or rather write the equation of the line. So notice again that our y-intercept will need to be calculated, and we'll use two integer coordinates to calculate our slope. We could use the rise and the run, but we want to practice using two coordinates today. So we'll go ahead and label point P and point R and write the coordinates for those points. Point P is -1, 4. Point R is 4, 1. The slope is the difference of the y coordinates, 4 minus 1. The denominator is the difference of the x coordinates, -1 minus 4. And so our slope has a value of 3/5. -3/5 is our value. That was step 1, finding the slope. Now we'll find the y-intercept. We'll pick one of the points to use. I'm going to use the second coordinate r, and we'll substitute 4 for x and 1 for y. We'll substitute these values in the equation y equals mx plus b, and then we'll solve for the value of b. So we have 1 equals, the value of m is -3/5. The value of x is 4 plus b. And we're going to solve for b to find the y-intercept. We simplify. This gives us -12/5 plus b is equal to 1. Add 12/5 to both sides of the equation to solve for b. The value of b is 5/5 plus 12/5 is 17/5. Next, we have the value of m, which is -3/5. We have the value of the y-intercept, which is 17/5. So we write the equation of the line y equals mx plus b, and we substitute those values. So our equation of the line is y equals -3/5 x plus 17/5. And this is our equation of the line. Here we're also asked to transform the equation so that it is written in standard form. Recall that standard form is ax plus by equals c. We'll add 3/5 x to both sides of the equation. Before we do that, let's go ahead and rewrite this so that a, b, and c are integers. So y equals -3/5 x plus 17/5. We want to rewrite this so that a, b, and c are integers, and currently we have a denominator. So let's multiply by the denominator the entire equation. This will give us 5y equals -3x plus 17. Now add 3x to both sides of the equation. This will put our equation in the correct order. 3x plus 5y equals 17. This is in standard form. A, b, and c are integers. A is not negative. So this is the standard form for the equation of the line on the graph above. We're going to skip example 3 for now. We're also going to skip example 4 for now, and we'll go down to the concept development. It says, what equation can we use to find the slope of a line if we have two sets of integer coordinates? Well, this is what we've done on the previous page, where we have an xy pair for 2 points. What we've been doing, m equals the difference in the y coordinates over the difference in the x coordinates. And let's let x, y, or let's just keep going. What we can do is we can multiply both sides of the equation by the denominator. Multiply both sides of the equation by the denominator. So that is x sub 2 minus x sub 1. X sub 2 minus x sub 1. On the right side of the equation, these cancel each other out because a number times or a number divided by itself equals 1, leaving us on the left side of the equation and the right side of the equation. We have y squared minus y to the first. Sorry, that's y sub 2 minus y sub 1. And on the left side of the equation, we have m times the quantity, x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Move this equal sign over a little bit there so it's a little more clear. This is the point slope formula of a linear equation. M times the quantity, x sub 2 minus x sub 1, equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1. So we have manipulated our formula for finding slope into this equation, and this is called the point slope form of an equation. The slope-intercept form of a line, do you recall that? It's y equals mx plus b. What information must you have to write the equation of a line? You must know 2 points, or 1 point and the slope. We're going to skip exercise 1 for now, and exercise 2. Let's go down to exercise 3. It says, determine the equation of a line that goes through the points -4, 5, and 2, 3. In this problem, notice that there is no graph to look at. Rather, they just give you 2 points. So we follow the same procedure that we've done on the previous page when we had a graph to look at. First, you find the slope. Recall that the slope is the difference between the y values over the difference in the x values. This gives us 5 minus 3 over -4 minus 2. Simplifying, 5 minus 3 is 2, -4 minus 2 is -6. This simplifies to -1/3, and this is the slope of our line. Step 2 is to substitute the slope m and one ordered pair xy in the equation y equals mx plus b. Solve for b to find the y-intercept. So choose one of the pairs. I'm going to use the positive pair, 2, 3. So we will let x equal 2. We will let y equal 3. In our equation, y equals mx plus b. Substitute y with 3. Substitute m with the slope, -1/3. Substitute x with 2. We will be solving for b. Simplify first. -1/3 times 2 is -2/3. Bring down the rest of the equation. Solve for b. Add 2/3 to both sides of your equation. B is equal to 3 and 2/3. Step 3. Substitute the values for m and b in the equation y equals mx plus b. So we have y equals, the value for m is negative 1/3, x plus b, which is 3 and 2/3. As I said before, you will also see the equation in slope-intercept form where the y-intercept is left as an improper fraction. So go ahead and calculate what that would be. And it is 11/3. So either one of these forms would be correct, but this is the most common way to see it. We're going to skip exercise 4 for now, and we'll go ahead and do the lesson summary. In this lesson, you've learned if we let x1 and y sub 1 and x sub 2 and y sub 2 be the coordinates of two distinct points on a line, we can find the slope by subtracting the y values over subtracting the x values. This version of the slope formula, using the coordinates of x and y instead of p and r, is a commonly accepted version. Recall that in previous lessons we had found the slope using this formula. P's on the left, R's on the right, 2's on the top, 1's on the bottom. This is the difference in the y values. The denominator is the difference in the x values. So again, this is a commonly accepted version to find the slope. As soon as you multiply the slope by the denominator of the fraction above, you get the following equation. M times the quantity x sub 2 minus x sub 1 is equal to y sub 2 minus y sub 1. This is the form of the equation referred to as the point-slope formula of a linear equation. Given a known value x and y, ordered pair, then the equation is written as m times the quantity x minus x sub 1 equals y minus y sub 1. The following is the slope-intercept form of a line. Y equals mx plus b. You will want to memorize this. You will also want to make sure that you memorize how to find the slope given two ordered pairs. In this equation, m is the slope, and the ordered pair OB, the value of b, is the y-intercept. To write an equation of a line, you must have 2 points, or 1 point and a slope, or a graph of a line. This concludes Lesson 21.